Yo, 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 yo. What's good with it? It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. You know what it is. Peace and love to all. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MacTV_82. We got a lot of dope content over on the Instagram. Appreciate all the love, all the likes, the shares, the comments. The word of mouth that's been going on because this channel is growing exponentially, and I appreciate that from the heart. I will continue to deliver thought-provoking content, discourse, have some dope interviews set up. But yeah, let's get to it. I want to talk about two documentaries that I saw this morning. They both had the same title. It was the official title for one was the FBI's War on Black America. And that was like a 50-minute documentary. And then there was a video I saw on YouTube of the same title. But I think that might have been just like a mesh of different interviews and videos. The latter one. But I will have links to both both videos in the description box. But let's get to it. Real quick, I want to talk about the things that these weren't necessarily new things that I learned, but I think this is information that is relevant to today and needs to be discussed. We know, essentially, COINTELPRO was founded in the 50s. COINTELPRO stood for Counterintelligence Program. It was headed by J. Edgar Hoover, and in essence, one of the plans within the program, within COINTELPRO, was to stop the rise of a black messiah. This potential messianic figure, they feared would unite black people, would get black people on one accord, would get black people to be more self-determined politically, economically, socially, the whole nine. And we know that 80% of the people that were impacted by COINTELPRO were Black Panthers. And before there was the actual title of COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover, who we know is FBI director, he still had all-out assaults going on prior to us having knowledge of the COINTELPRO program, and when it was identified as such. He led an onslaught against Jack Johnson. He accused Jack Johnson of violating the Mann Act or the White Slavery Act. But what he didn't know, I mean, that law itself was created. There basically were a bunch of, I want to say like in the 40s, a bunch of white girls. They lived in farmland in Indiana, and they would leave and go to Chicago, and they were getting pimped. And so, they don't like that, seeing these little white girls get pimped by black dudes in Chicago. So they created the White Slavery Man Law Act or whatever. And actually, they tried to say that that's what Jack Johnson was doing, that he was violating the Mann Act. But in fact, the white woman was his wife. And I want to say outside of Jack Johnson, Hoover actually went at Marcus Garvey as well. I think they got Marcus Garvey on mail fraud. He was deported. I think he served time in a federal penitentiary, and I believe Garvey did. But real quick, if you look at the undertone here, black life becoming self-realized is essentially problematic to the power structure that exists in this country. It's weird because people talk about democracy, they talk about freedom and justice and equality, and those things, those high-minded ideals are very they're very much indelible on the ethos of this country, but it's almost like those things, they do not want them to be applicable to black people. And I think if you look at the Black Panther Party, I think the things that they did from a political standpoint were genius. The fact that Huey and his constituents had the mind frame to realize that, look, the black class in America is by design kept as an underclass. It is kept perpetually at a bottom class, not by happenstance. This is by design. I want to say in Revolutionary Suicide, Huey he referenced Frantz Fanon a lot, and Frantz Fanon wrote "Wretched of the Earth," but I think, "Wretched of the Earth" is pretty much "Wretched of the Earth" was pretty much the Bible for the Black Panthers, and Huey likened the Black experience in urban America, the hood, ghetto, what have you, as colonized land, as just like how America would go colonize different lands throughout the country. I mean, not different lands throughout the world, rather, different countries throughout the world. We colonize it, set up a banana republic government there, puppet government there, and rob that place of all its resources. That's documented. We've done it. We're still doing it through the guise of freedom and disseminating democracy. But real heads know what's going on. But yeah, he was just essentially saying, like, the hood is a colony. We don't own anything. A lot of us we didn't own our own homes. A lot of us had no vested economic interest in our communities. We didn't own any homes, no businesses, on a grand enough scale to actually dictate the social realities of our neighborhoods. And he also basically was saying how the police were, in essence, like soldiers that work to maintain the status quo to the benefit of the white power structure or the upper class. When I say upper class, I'm meaning those that are infinitely resourceful, those that have much political power, those that have a lot of wealth, that don't live in these communities. And more often than not, a lot of the police that patrol these communities, they don't live in the hood. They have no vested interest in the growth of the people. And that's not an indictment on all police. I think there are some policemen who have a genuine intention upon joining the force. But yeah, it's always mind-blowing to me because they say, Black people, why can't you just get it together? Why don't you just just go to school, go to work, and why don't you guys ever try to build things up to your own benefit? But that's bullshit, because every time we have tried to do that or have been in the process of doing that, it has been thwarted some way, somehow. And you could even look with the Panthers. They had a situation with the US organization in LA where basically COINTELPRO would write these fake letters creating this beef that didn't even exist. And I remember watching, but between the US organization and the Panther Party, you had Karenga, who's with the US organization, basically, and I've heard that he was an agent provocateur, but I don't like throwing that around. I can't corroborate that for sure. But I think he definitely was. I've come across some things that spoke to that. But yeah, the dissension was caused by a third party, COINTELPRO, between the Panthers and the US organization. There were fake letters saying, "Oh, we gonna kill Bobby, or we gonna do this to Karenga," and it just caused like this internal dissension that was make believe, but it became real because we thought these letters were real. They thought those letters were real, rather, the Panthers and the US organization. Even in Chicago, apparently there were more fake letters where the FBI was making these letters basically telling Fred Hampton, look, Jeff Fort and the El Rukins or the Blackstones, they don't rock with you, homie. So, be on the lookout. And, things like that, it just creates dissension. It creates separation. You may think you may have had an alliance with someone, or even if it's not an alliance, you may have thought things were smooth, and they weren't. I think we know that the economic infrastructure of this country is capitalism. Now, I understand people's criticisms of capitalism. I understand that capitalism is woven within the fabric of this country. Everything yields to economics. Politics is an extension of economics. And I think a lot of times, like if you look at the Panthers, and I think this might have been by and large why they were considered a threat to the internal security of this country, is because the Panthers were Marxists and Leninists. They used a lot of communist rhetoric And I think a part of the fear was, oh my God, these black people, they're becoming more politically inclined. And eventually they're just going to try to overthrow this whole economic system that we have. But yeah, what else? I think one of the things that kind of resurfaced that reminded me of a COINTELPRO situation is the whole black identity extremists. Apparently there's some FBI program where they're talking about there are supposed black identity extremists. But the thing is that the description of a black identity extremist is very vague. It's very nebulous. It's very nondescript. So it's like, who is determining who is a black extremist, identity extremist, and like who are these people that are determining it? And then what does that entail? What is that to be a black identity extremist? What is that? And I haven't found any literature that gives a very pinpoint explanation as to that. But yeah, I think even if you look, it's weird. It's like you have, I think one of the things that Malcolm X said is that black people, a lot of times we fight over methodology. You know, it's like, no, this is the way we're going to fight white supremacy. No, this is the way we're going to fight white supremacy. And then we become at odds with each other. But the thing is, I think more black people need to understand that people are just going to fight on different fronts. You know, you fight white supremacy the best way you know how, I'll fight it the best way I know how, and we'll just have each other's back on different fronts. Because black people are not a monolith. Black people are not going to have the same mental approach to how to deal with white supremacy, how to confront it. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, our goal needs to be self-determination, economic, politically, socially. Right now, I think it's just really sad that black people wanting basic fundamental human rights is problematic for the power structure. It's like I just think that's crazy. I don't even, like, if you look at the civil rights movement, if you look at just pretty much any type of social movement that black people have had, it's never been like rooted in criminology or criminality. It's never been rooted in criminality. It's never been rooted in selfishness. It's basically you just wanting to be acknowledged as a human being and having the right to to be socially mobile. You know, not being disenfranchised. You know, just simple things like that. But it's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna put the links to the videos, the FBI war on the FBI's war on American blacks. I'm gonna have both of those videos that I saw. Again, appreciate all the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribers. Shout out to WORDPLAY Clothing Company out of Detroit, a Detroit brand you can believe in. I'm definitely gonna be pulling up to the D and do something with them. WORDPLAY Clothing Company. I'll put a link to their website in the description as well. Their Instagram, contact, and their website. Peace and love. I'm out.